Oh, come on. Lord have mercy. Hello, hello. Give me 1 second. Trying to send that I am flying to a few people. Just a few. You know. Got a hunch on something. So we're gonna see if I'm right. But I won't say if I'm right or not. Anywho. Hello. How are you? Motherfucker. Motherfucker. I'm cooking stuff. Yay. Okay. Hello. How are you? How is everything with everybody? Stand the fuck up. Stay. Yes, I talked to an inanimate object. You know. It's one of my quirks, I guess. I guess we would call it a fucking quirk. Oh shit. Fucking no shit. Wait. So, how is everyone? I'm peachy. I'm sick of the fucking winter. I am so tired of the snow and the cold, and I just want to go somewhere nice and warm. You know. I am peachy. I'm doing alright. Figured something out. One of two things. Because it's kind of interesting with this, and I'm thinking it's the first one I'm going to say. Well, not, okay. Number one. The first, actually, I think it's actually the second one. I think it's more likely. But the first possibility is Sue was actually born a man, raised as a female, and then they did surgery and that kind of thing. I don't think that's the case, though. After the evidence I've found, most likely what happened is, Sue was born intersex. And if that happens, they have to put one gender on the birth certificate, so they choose 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a girl. That they always choose female. The majority of the time, they'll be female. So when they do that, the child will have to have medical whatever. But think of what happens when they get to 12 years old. Now, in 1972, Sue would have been turning 12. She would have been turning 13 in October of that year, because she was born on October 4th, 1959. Sue was born. She is the one that I grew up knowing as my biological mother. Who was 5'8" to 5'10", wore a man's size 10 shoe, and her ring finger was a size 11. She was built like linebacker. And one thing I do remember is, when a female has a time of the month? And one thing I do remember is, when a female has a time of the month, right? And we have to use certain things during those times of the month. I haven't had a time of the month since 2012. So they did a hysterectomy. But so you know how females have that time of the month. Tell me why she never did. She never did. There's no pictures of her pregnant. I don't remember her ever being pregnant with Brad. I don't remember Brad being a baby. I remember Brad around a toddler, not as a baby. I'm sorry. It's probably somebody recording me. That's what they do. They record me and live stream me, all that shit. Make me famous, bitches. I don't give a shit. You know. What the fuck? Hello. So what happens when, if, so say, what happens when children turn around 12 years old? Puberty, right? And what happens to boys when they have puberty? Yeah. So around that time, because they would deem it medically necessary, because she was on some sort of public assistance from 1972 and 1973. I often wondered why. I mean, Joan worked as a secretary at the arsenal. Jack was a mailman with, he was in the military. He was in the Marines and that. Why, oh why, was the only child that was on any type of public assistance Sue? So, puberty, right? So around that time of puberty, they have to have the surgery and the transition. Oh, wait, you get it right. So, imagine being a 12-year-old and having to have a appendage or whatnot surgically removed, because nobody can know that you're not fully female, that you're intersex, or you're actually a male that has been raised as a female. So they use you to kidnap children because you dress, you're living as a female even though you're a male. Now, in my mind, the thought would be, she was born intersex, right? But then I got to thinking, these people are insane, and it's possible that she was born a male and raised as a female, and it was so they could kidnap children, and that way she could look the part like she usually did. I'm sure she dressed, all she had to do was disguise herself by dressing as her actual gender. And then after they got me in their family that's when she started growing her hair out and growing her nails out and things like that. Before that, like I've shown the picture where she's holding that baby, you can tell how big her hands are because that baby was a month and a half old, supposedly. So that should tell you, because supposedly on the birth certificate it says 7 pounds, 8 ounces, 19 inches long. Her hand was half the size of the baby at a month and a half old. That's not normal for a female. And everything else. So, the normal thought would be she was born intersex, but then, again, the family's insane, and then she tells everything. Either one is possible. But I can guarantee you she's never given birth. And if she did, it would mean she was intersex, and it only happened one time. And that would be with that baby in the picture with Joan and Jack, who was very disfigured. And what's interesting is that baby, if you look close enough and pay close attention, that baby has one leg that's missing. So I have no idea what they did to that child, but they claim that it was me. Just like the child in the red dress. Really. So yeah. So I am going to go over and do the DNA when the time comes, whenever I decide. Because I have a ticket that I can change. At any time, I can go later or I can go earlier. I could just wait and go when it's scheduled to go. You go over there and do the DNA test, and then stay for about a week just to enjoy being over, enjoy the sights and everything, and then come back and they can find me over here to give me the results. Oh, what's been going on? Yeah, I figured out Sue was born a man. Or intersex. Never gave birth. And I'm pretty sure I know who Brad really is because the age progression of the child I found, I just wouldn't know who Shade is though. But I'm pretty sure Brad is this child that was taken out of his crib in Colorado Springs. Sue wanted children not to raise, but to be like toys, where she could play with them. And when she got tired of them, she'd just ignore them, That's about what it was. I never realized how mentally ill she actually was. The person that I grew up knowing as my biological mother was most likely born intersex or male and raised female. And most likely, it was most likely intersex because when she was 12, she was born in October 4th, 1959. And October 4th, or was it October 6th? Yeah, Joan was born October 6th, she was born October 4th. So October 4th, 1959 is when she was born. By all accounts, what I figured out, I did some research and digging, like I do, and she was on I found she was on public assistance in 1972 and 1973, which is very interesting. She would have been 12 going on 13 and 13 going on 14. Why would she be on public assistance? Especially since Joan worked as a secretary at the Arsenal. Jack was a postal carrier and retired from the Marines. So it didn't make sense. So I figured maybe she got pregnant or something, and that's why. And, the baby in the picture that is most likely no longer, and was no longer when that picture was taken. And then I got to thinking, and then started, she was 5'8" to 5'10". She wore a shoe size 10 in men's, and her ring finger was a size 11. Her father was 5'10", and her mother was 4'11". Her older sister is 5'2". Her younger sister is 5'3", and her younger brother is 5'5". Now, if you were born intersex, they have to put one gender on the form when you're born. Usually, they check off female. They don't know what your body's going to look like when you grow up, right? So they just flip a coin, I guess. But they usually choose female. So, there's going to be some issues in that, but around puberty time is when you're about 12 years old, correct? So she would have been 12 going on 13 in 1972. So how long? And back then they would have deemed it medically necessary when it came to intersex. It was different when it comes to transgender than it is intersex because, So around puberty time, they would take care of that issue. Think about that. Being 12 years old, already being as it was, because, and why they were so mean to her when she was growing up and everything up. That's why, and it's they were so mean to her. Her brother and sisters were so mean to her, and she was just. I'm thinking back now. I didn't realize how insane she was. But so it's very plausible that at between 1972 and 1973 she was actually on Medicaid, because Medicaid would have covered it, and Joan and Jack would not have been able to afford the surgery. Evidently, also they didn't want that on their record. Imagine prominent family like them having a child like that. That's something you have to hide when you're people like them. All they care about is their reputations and money. That's all they fucking care about. Trust me, I know for a fact. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, she never had that time of the month as far back as I can remember. I lived with them more, off and on. And she passed away, supposedly. She didn't pass away, but she faked her death. On October 10th, 2005. Supposedly she had MRSA throughout her body and evidently a staph infection in her stomach, but was laughing and was able to have a conversation, this, that, and the other. And she's very much alive. Just don't know where she is. Or he is. At this point, I'm not sure. But she didn't start growing out her nails and her hair and that, and doing her makeup and that, until after I was put as her daughter. And because the monthly thing not happening, she would never be able to have children. And so I'm sure she wanted one. I know she wanted one. Clearly. That's why she wanted to play like house. She wanted to have children for plaything, like toys or whatever. It's the best way I could fucking put it. That's why she was so neglectful. And did what she did. But like I said, it could be either way with that family. Either she was born intersex, or they... Either way, anything's possible with those fuckers. So... But I'm glad I finally, as crazy as it is, I'm like, this can't be. But actually, I've actually come to terms with the fact that it's fucking real. That bitch was never my mother, and that family, I'm nah. I've basically come to terms with all of it. It's fucked up. So, how is everyone? It's crazy how the roads are closed, everything's closed down, but I'm hearing cars. We got about 2 feet of snow. So who knows when things are going to reopen, you know. Um, anywho, how is everyone? You good? Are you dandy? And I away, I drive myself crazy. Drive myself crazy. Thinking of you who made a mistake. When I let you go, babe. Drive myself crazy. Foot's killing me. Ow. Oh, Lord have mercy. You ever get a Charlie horse on top of your foot by your toes? And you don't know how? Yeah. Oh, fucking hurts. Fucking hurts. It hurts. Oh, gee, on the way. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, oh fuckery. Lord. Ah, damn. Oh. Ah. So, from what I hear, Staten Island was not prepared for this weather, for the snow. They did not prepare for it. The sidewalks are still covered. Yeah. Had placed an order, and it had to be a specific order, but it had to be canceled because they may be able to deliver tomorrow, or it may not be. Just don't know. Just depends on the weather. Not the weather, but if the roads are clear. So I'm like, just cancel it. Anywho, 2 feet of snow is amazing. I just love it. Beat me up, Scotty. I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. Shit. So, to the person recording me, hey, how you doing? Or who's ever live streaming me, you know. Come over to this side. We have fun over here. Right? It's beautiful. I just hate the snow. It's too much. It's too much. I also, I have an intolerance to cold, so this isn't good. I hate this shit. I hate it. Because I'm either too hot or too cold. I can't, like, I will turn up the temperature on my thermostat 1 degree, and it gets too hot. So I turn it down on 1. It's too cold. I do not understand it. Why, oh why does my body hate me? Shit. But actually, truth is, I have a heat intolerance and a cold intolerance because of my autoimmune disease. I have Hashimoto's disease, thyroiditis. But yeah, so, and that's why when I get really stressed out or overwhelmed, I get really, really exhausted and tired. And I can end up sleeping for hours during the day. Fall asleep right here, The struggle is real, y'all. And the right mind is fucking out there trying to drive. The fuck in the right mind is trying to drive right now? Only in Staten Island. Only in New York do people try and drive in the middle of the night when we have 2 feet of snow. So their tires just rotate, whatever you call it. You can't think of the word. But they don't go anywhere. And that's what I'm like to fuck up your engine. Yes, indeed. Hello. Did you know that? I guess when you're stuck like in a mud or something in your car and you're trying to get out and you keep your foot on the gas or whatever and you're spinning your wheels, evidently it can have a bad impact. It could have a negative impact on your engine and shit. Of course, that's what my ex told me. His father was a mechanic, so that was the plus side. I had a mechanic. I had somebody that knew how to work on cars. That was the only plus side of that fucked up relationship. I don't remember. I didn't even know I was in the files until I've been told that everything I've been talked about, past year and a half, 2 years, the things I remember are in those motherfucking files, along with talking to someone I've known for 20 years that I've blocked completely. I called him. I said, am I in those? He's like, hey, what's going on? I said, am I in those files? Because he claimed he was CIA. He also told me he was part of that cult. He's like, no, I told you you're safe. He's like, why are the memories that I've talked about over the past year and a half, 2 years, why am I being told that shit's in the files? And he then said, that's why I was coming to talk to you in person. He better not. He better not. No, he's not my friend. You know how they've been trying to shut me up? I guess they figured because I've known him for so long that I would trust him and that he could shut me up whatever way. Because when I told him I was going to have to go over to the UK to do the DNA test, he's like, oh really? Well, let me know when you're going to London and I'll go with you. Yeah. I said the UK. I did not say London. I just said the UK. Yeah. So they had been trying to, and it wasn't the first one. They'd been trying to get people to get close to me, get information and shit from me. So if I had called him and told him if I told him when I was going, right? The fuck do you think would happen? Well, I'll go with you. Why would it? Oh, no. Yeah. Uh, yeah, he is part. When I was telling him, someone told me to call him. I don't know what made me call him. I called him and I was telling him about and Howard, and he's like, "Oh well, I'm a 33rd degree Mason too." Blah, blah. And I said and he was all excited, right? And then this is why you don't drive in this fucking weather. So, and then when I got to the part of being kidnapped and that, yeah, kind of changed things a little bit, but then he started contacting more frequently, wanting to know what I remembered. And at first, I believed him when he said he was he was a government, he worked for the government. I believed him. And then I got to thinking later on, wait a minute, he's been in prison. He has nose candy addiction as well. He's been to prison for that. So is his husband. How exactly? Okay. And so, yeah, when I asked him about, being gay, yeah, he called me on a fake number, and he was telling me that he had my file, and yes, and yes, I was trafficked. He just didn't know who I was because my name was blacked out. And so that was like, you know. And then he asked me, "Do you remember, what the inside of the car looked like? Was it tan? Was it this and that?" Yeah. He was trying to get to find it. He was wanting to know what I remember. He wasn't trying to help me. Jesus Christ, if he was trying to help me, wouldn't he have helped me after all this time? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, and then when I told him, "Am I in the files and that?" And no, I told you you're safe. I said, "Then why my memories are there that I've been told?" And he said, "That's why I needed to come talk to you in person and show you some things." And then he said he has the files. I don't want to see the motherfucking files. I know, thank you. I'm good. Yeah. So for anyone that wants to know how I know the files, well, things I've talked about for a year and a half, 2 years. I've been told are in the files, and well, motherfucker confirmed it, basically. So I only remember bits and pieces of things that happened of my life, basically. Do me a favor. Kick rocks. I don't know what the fuck you're on, but you got the wrong one. Okay? And I really don't care. That's actually kind of pathetic. To be quite honest. That the best you could do? That's the best. What, your best insult? It's kind of funny, honestly. Because that's the best they come up with after everything. People obsessing about my nails. It's crazy to me. Why are you so obsessed with me? Bitch, I wanna know. You know, I got to thinking too. Who could possibly be behind all of this and trying to shut me up so badly? Because who has the most to lose? Who is the one person that has more to lose than anyone else? Sue. Sue has more to lose than anyone else. And if you pay attention, whoever has been behind all of this is very, seems to be mentally a child, right? Now, let's go back to what I was talking about a little while ago. 1972 to 73, she was on uh, some sort of public assistance, most likely Medicaid. Why? Because Medicaid would cover a surgery like that because it was deemed medically necessary. Imagine being 12 years old and you find out that you have to have part of you removed. Or maybe they didn't even tell her and they just did it. And she didn't know till afterwards. Who knows? But she would have been 12 or 13 years old. So imagine. Think about that. If that happened to you. That's crazy, isn't it? I feel bad for her. But at the same time I don't. I do, but I don't, but I do. It's hard. You know, it's after everything I know now. It's hard to. I mean, I don't hate her. I just. It's hard to explain. Hey, I don't hate her, but I have nothing for her. Oh, you're here. Why are you so obsessed with me? Get over yourself. Okay? Mama Bear 2026. Thank you, darling. So it begins. Isn't it funny? The shit that they're doing. It's funny to me. After all this time, all the evidence, everything, and they're still up to their little tricks and BS shit that they do. Right? I think it's more annoying than anything. It's okay. I refuse to give them my energy. So we just, you leave them or block them or whatever. But I'm not going to give them my time or energy. I'll say their name and they just get blocked. Because I'm not dealing with it any longer. My peace is more important than anything. My peace and happiness is more important to me than this childish bullshit that they've been pulling all this time. You know? I really just don't care anymore. I choose to be happy. I choose to put the shit behind me and move forward. I am going to go find out, I am going to go do the test and everything, regardless, no matter what, because I would like to know. And if it turns out that it does match, then the family deserves to know too. But they're not going to, nobody's going to know when I go over there. And nobody will know when I do the test. Just like the family will find out after I do the test. Sure, figure stay over there for a week, have a little vacay, and then come back and tell them they can find me here. Or wherever, And then go from there once the test and everything comes back. But other than that, I'm gonna live my life. I'm choosing me and my happiness and my peace. And my happily ever after. Whatever that may be. Hello. I don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. Whatever happens, happens, but I choose my peace, my happiness, and my future, and my happily ever after. I don't care about that shit anymore. Like I said, I'm going to do the test, but, I'll do it when I do it. It's not going to be, it'll be this year. But, yeah. Do the test, stay maybe a week or whatnot, come back, tell them, hey, you can find me in New York. Here's my email, or call me, or whatnot. Or you show up at my door, I don't know if just let me know ahead of time. Probably not going to work like that, is it? It is what it is, but I'm going to do me. I'm focusing on me, my life, my happiness, my peace, my future. And that's what matters to me. The rest doesn't fucking matter. You gotta keep moving forward, because if you keep looking in the past and focusing on it all the time, you keep repeating the cycles. Right? And you don't move forward. You don't know what's possible. Everything always works out the way it's meant to, as it is. And whatever's meant to happen will happen. But if it turns out I'm not Catrice, then I may just stop looking. Because here's how I feel about it as of now. If my family didn't care enough to look for me, why the fuck do I care if ever finding out who they are or who my real identity is? Right? My name doesn't mean shit. What I mean by that is, it doesn't make me who I am as a human being. What makes me me is who I am as a human being. My heart, my soul, what kind of person I am, how I treat others, that kind of thing. That's who I am. They make nothing but whatever people call you. And you can have your name anything you want. Yeah, you have a legal name, but you have people call you whatever you want. You can have call you late for dinner if you want. You can actually change your name to basically whatever the fuck you want to. So it's like your name don't mean shit. What matters more than anything is how you are as a human being and how you treat others. You know, me, I choose to take the path to the bright part, the bright future in that. That's what I'm choosing. You know? Everything will work itself out. It always does. But I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And I'm not going to stress about it anymore. I have more shit to deal with, you know? I got school. I want to start doing the entertainment shit again. You know? It takes time. But, yeah, I'm still going to go over there. I already got the ticket, right? So I might as well go and, enjoy the scenery and maybe visit a castle or something. Go to Ireland, maybe, hey. Something I want to do. I'm going to go, maybe I'll stay 2 weeks. Because I do want to go to Ireland. I do want to go to these places. I want to go and experience it. The world is a big, huge place, and there's so many different places to go visit and experience and all that good shit. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you? I've been all over the U.S. I'm ready to go bounce and travel the world and see the world. And I want to follow my heart and my dreams, and we'll make my dreams happen. Whatever my legal identity is, it don't mean shit. Like I said. All that matters, truly, is who I am as a human being. And I know I have a big, bright future ahead of me. I have a bright future ahead of me. And I'm going to follow my dreams, and I'm going to keep singing. I am going to start. I'm going to do the modeling thing, and I'm going to do it all. And nothing is going to stop me. I don't have to investigate anymore. I don't have to. Everything will happen, and everything when it's supposed to, and everything will work itself out. I'm not going to waste my fucking time anymore. I'm not wasting my time and energy. Fuck that shit. I'll tell you what. There is one person I would love to go to London with me. And that's Frankie. I would love if he went with me. Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? I'm trying, You gotta be positive. You gotta think of good things, not be negative. Because if you're dwelling in negative and that all the time, you don't get anywhere. And all that should affect you. Why do you think about how you feel when you're happy and how you feel when you're like 2 feet? 2 feet. That is some bullshit going on, man. I have no fucking idea. Outside, probably. Sounds like it's upstairs. So who would it be? I don't know who. Never know. But yeah, it's most likely outside. I choose to stay inside. I don't, So, anywho. And I am gonna write a book. Yeah, it's about a foot and a half, 2 feet. I can show you. Yeah, no, I'm good. I am doing good. I've made some decisions. And I figured some things out. Sue was most likely born intersex or male. She was 5'8" to 5'10". Her shoe size was a 10 in men's, and her ring size was a size 11. She was built like her body was built like a linebacker. And I'm like that's not normal for a female. Her older sister is 5'2", her younger sister is 5'3", and her younger brother is 5'5". Her mom was 4'11", and Joan was 4'11", and Jack was 5'10". So yeah, and I also don't remember her ever having that time of the month. Because anytime there were the things you need, I'm sorry, I don't know what I can say on here, what I can't without being bananas. I'm the only one that had them when I was living with them. However, when I was pregnant, there was none in there because I didn't need them. But yeah, she didn't have her. Nor do I remember Brad being there as a baby. And there's no pictures of Brad before his second birthday either. Don't you find that strange? There's pictures of his second birthday, but none of his first birthday. No baby pictures of him either. I don't remember him being there. I remember them telling me I had to stay at Paul Mule's because she was going to go have a baby. I don't remember her being pregnant either. And after that, I remember them, talking about a baby and that, but I never saw a baby. I never saw her with a baby. Nothing. Nothing. It was weird. It's weird. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she never had any kids. None biological. But when you're born intersex, they have to put one gender on the birth certificate, right? They can't put both. So the majority of the time they will put female. So they raised her as a female, right? I found out online that in 1972 to 1973 she was on some sort of public assistance, which was very curious to me, because I'm like, why was she the only one on public assistance, and why from 72 to 73, 72 and 73? That didn't make sense to me. Joan was a secretary at the Arsenal, and Jack was a postal worker, and he had retired from the Marines. So that didn't make much sense to me. So I thought maybe she had got pregnant or something, or whatever. That still wouldn't make much sense. Then, considering her height and her build and the size of her hands and everything, and now the fact that she never had uh, the most, when you hit puberty is around when you're about 12, right? In 1972, in October 1972, she was turning 13. So what happens, because I looked it up, so what happens is, when they get to a certain age, around puberty, they will go and do the surgery and do whatever needs to be done. After that, Medicaid would have considered it a necessary surgery that was needed for medical purposes, and it's possible that they got her on Medicaid for this specific surgery and for her to do all that because they couldn't have it on their insurance. Why? Because you're raising this child as a girl, and that's going to be, especially the type of families they were. Yeah. Let's put it this way. Jack's father owned an 11-bedroom house. His Aunt Olive was very, very wealthy. They were all very wealthy and very well off. Except Joan and Jack. And that family. Now do you get it? They lived the way they did because they had to as a cover, because of me. They couldn't let it be known to me that they had any money, right? So they lived the way they lived, and the reason Sue faked her death was because she was tired of living that way, I believe, and she wanted a new life where she didn't have to suffer and live in squalor and everything else. And the way her husband and her son treated her, yeah, I'm sure that's probably why she faked her death. But here's the thing, they know. They know. They all know. Somebody's spinning their tires out there. That's probably what the fighting was. Yeah. So, there's one of two things. Like I said, the logical explanation would be, she was born intersex, right? But then we have to consider the fact that who this family is and what they're part of and everything else. It's very likely that she was a male and they raised her as female because that way they would be able to have her kidnap children, and then, they probably had the surgery in 1972 or 73, had her on whatever she needed to be on, and of course it would have been approved and covered up. All doctors would have to do is falsify the fact that say that she was intersex. Well, all I can prove is she was 5'8" to 5'10". The picture of her holding the baby is a month and a half old. Her hands are half the size of the baby. The baby looks really tiny that she's holding. On the birth certificate it says 6 pounds 7 ounces 19 inches long. Yeah. Yeah, I can't prove it because how am I going to fucking prove it? These are theories, but looking at her picture and the fact that she always had short hair, never grew her nails out or nothing, never wore makeup or nothing until after I was they had me as her daughter. That's when she started looking feminine. More feminine. You know, she don't look feminine. Like I said, either one's possible with these fuckers. And then all they would have to do is, you know, to prove it or not, find out or not, just find her and run some tests. Is she XX or XY chromosome? That might be your answer, you know. Hopefully they'll be able to find her. But in the meantime, everything happens the way it's supposed to, and I'm going to keep moving forward. And everything will work itself out, you know. Yeah, I asked my ex-husband to give me a tattoo in her memory. And that's what he did. The mom with the heart in the heart. I'm glad he didn't do any more than that shit. I feel, when it comes to her, I feel bad for her, but I don't feel bad for her. Because I know that that's why they tormented her too. That has to be why they were so mean to her. Like, they were horrible to her. So I try and take things like that into consideration too. Because she didn't deserve the way they treated her either. At least that's what I've been told. It could have been a lie, you know. Because they didn't seem to have any problem with her as an adult. They acted just fine around each other. But then talking bad shit about each other afterwards, you know. They were always talking bad about her. And one thing that they always said, and now I know why, is, you're just like Sue. You're just like Sue. You're just like Sue. That's one way to convince someone that that is their mother, isn't it? Sue was the one in the gray. I'm sure of it. So much fun, you know. Lord have mercy. That's okay. I've come to the decision that I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm done investigating. I'm done with all of it. I have enough evidence. I have so much evidence. You know, if all the evidence I have isn't enough, then it is what it is. I'm gonna go over, hopefully do the DNA test, and they can find me here or whatnot whenever it comes back. But I'm gonna keep living my life. I want to focus more on school, and I want to start, singing more and actually maybe, want to try for a career maybe, and I want it all. I want to act. I want to sing. I want to model. I want it all. That's the shit I've been wanting to do, and put it all on the back burner for this shit. Truth is, it doesn't matter what my identity is. It doesn't. The only reason I'm going to do the DNA test, if it comes back not a match, then I'm done. Because here's how I feel. If my family didn't care enough about to look for me, why the fuck would I care to? I don't care to find out who I am then. But this, finding out whether or not I'm Patrice is a different situation. Because her family's been looking all this time. So they deserve to know, and then go from there if it is a match. But I'm alright. How you doing? I mean, I've collected all the evidence basically almost on my own, and I said watch me solve my own kidnapping, didn't I? And I did. The only thing left is to find out who I really am, but if it never happens, it never happens. Everything works out the way it's supposed to, so I'm not going to stress about it anymore. And I'm not going to keep dwelling on the past no matter how bad it was. The reason is because when you do that, it only affects you. It doesn't affect those monsters. They don't give a fuck what the monsters, they do not give a fuck about any of the victims, any of the survivors. They don't care about any of us. And the only ones all this shit is affecting is us. They're going on with their lives, they're doing what they're doing and having a great time doing it. And while we sit here and dwell on it and everything else, truth is nothing will ever change whatever happened to any of it. Nothing. There's no way you can ever change what happened in the past. So you gotta decide, do I want to keep reliving this shit and thinking about the negative, horrific shit and put myself into this downward spiral, whatever. I don't know if that would happen, probably not, but you get the drift. Or move forward, focus on my future, things like that, because life's too short. I would like to enjoy it. I've suffered enough in my life. I want my happily ever after. I want my happily ever after. I want the finer things in life. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I have gone without, and I've sacrificed everything else for so many people for so long. I'm ready to spoil myself. I'm ready to buy the things I want. I'm ready, and I've started doing that slowly but surely, but I want to do things whenever I want. I want to travel, I want to buy the things I want to have the things I want. I want the nicer, finer things in life. Okay, I deserve that shit. And I gotta just keep reminding myself it doesn't make me selfish to want those things. I want my happily ever after. I want to have the career I've always dreamed of. I've always wanted to be a singer. I've always wanted to sing. And the whole modeling thing, being told I'm a natural at it, and, evidently acting, I'm good at acting too. I'm a triple threat, and I'm sure I could learn how to dance very quickly. It wouldn't be hard to teach me. I choose the brighter side of life. Yeah. I'm choosing my peace and happiness and my future and all of that. You know? you know what? I'm gonna start wearing whatever I want and doing whatever I want. There's a lot of clothes that I would love to buy and wear, but I'm always nervous about. Honestly, I've been nervous about what people would think. Like, the midriffs and things like that. And I've always worried, well, if I wear the halter tops with the short shorts or the mini skirts or whatever, what are people gonna think? Because of my body, it's like, and then now I'm thinking like, why the fuck do I care? Oh, whatever the fuck I want, And I'm I'm gonna start going to the gym again. Um, I want to get back to being healthier and that kind of thing too, because when I ate healthy and I worked out and all that, it made me feel so much better, you know. And I want to go out and I want to do things. Obviously, not for a while. Obviously, not for a while. I ain't going out and that shit. Fuck that shit. But, you know. And I am going to write my book. But the truth is, if I never find out what my real identity is, what's it going to change? It's not going to change anything if I don't. You know? It's not going to change me as a human being. Just like it's not going to change me as a human being if I do. Because I'm always going to be this way. What you see is what you get. I'm not going to change for anybody. I'm going to continue to become the best version of myself. I refuse to continue to focusing on the negative and everything else. I don't need that shit. It's too fucking short. I'm gonna come on here, I'm gonna sing, we're gonna have fun. From now on, I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm gonna go to London and do what I need to do. I would love for Frankie to go with me because, but I'm gonna enjoy my time over there when I do go because I deserve it. I deserve to be happy and have fun and things like that. You know? I mean, I don't know when the last time I ever went, like, I don't remember the last time I went to, like, a nightclub or anything. I don't know, years. See you tomorrow, and have a good night. But yeah, I want to experience all new things and just have fun with life. Oh, thank you. I think what helped, because here's the truth, I actually feel free. For the first time in my life, I feel free. And I think what did it was coming to the realization that I really am not related to those monsters, and it's everything was real, and it is real, and I was living as someone I wasn't, so I was basically living, I was living a lie. So now I'm finding out who I really am, and I'm becoming that person. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'm always going to be a good person. I'm always going to help others and everything else. But I'm going to take care of me first. And that doesn't make me selfish. It's almost like I'm doing years of brainwashing, if that makes sense. I'm working on undoing years of brainwashing. You know? So it's taking time, but it's kind of, yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Yeah. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna eat whatever I want. I'm gonna go wherever I want. You know? And I'm excited about the future. So this week is the week 7 of juvenile justice. um, Thank you. But so this is my 7th week of juvenile justice. So you know what? I want to see if he graded my paper. Let's see what my night had. So I'm gonna see what my grade is. I think I can do that first. Okay. We'll chat later on. Let's go down here for the rest of my life. I wanna dance with you. Some of us never every storm we walk through. That's the song I'm hearing right now in my head. I can't explain it. It happens all the time. It's like it always means something. I just don't know what the fuck it means. All right, let's go to grade. Ah, an 87.9. That's not bad, right? So knowledge check, discussion board, and research paper. Yay! I don't want to do this anymore, man. Nah, I'm alright. But like, honestly, it's not what I want to do, obviously, but what I want to do is I want a career. I want to be this singer. You know, yeah, I want to have a career, a very successful career. I'm going to have a very successful career. I'm going to manifest it now. I'm going to have a very successful career. I'm going to be able to live very, very comfortably, never have to worry again, and be able to help others as well. Frankie will never have to work again because we'll have plenty of money. You know, and life's going to be imperfectly perfect, or perfectly imperfect. You get the drift. And Frankie and I live happily ever after. Life is going to be beautiful and amazing. And it starts now. Right now I'm on a fixed income. I'm on disability. I would rather be able, like, obviously I've worked my life. But, no, I don't work. But I used to. I have done everything from childcare, obviously, at an early age, to that I've, it's alright. Um, I've done house painting, I've done janitorial, I've done housekeeping at hotels, I've done construction cleanup, I've done landfill, where you walk through the landfill 8, 9 hours a day up and down hills picking up trash. Yeah, did that. Security, um, fast food, a cook at a nursing home. I'm a jail of all trades. And I've done where I, put stages up before concerts, took them down after concerts. I worked for a lot of temp agencies, so I'm very well rounded when it comes to work. Um, and I'm a hard worker. There would be times where I would get a job that's supposed to be a week. I get the whole thing done in 2 days. I had male coworkers tell me that they liked working with me because I was better than working with guys, because guys didn't want to work as hard as I do. Guys don't work as hard as I do, from what I've been told. Um, yeah, I have very good work ethic, but I do have the tendency to overdo it. Just like going to the gym, I overdo it all the time, and then I injure myself and all that, and it fucking sucks. But I had one time when I was, I think it was like 2007. I was up for a couple days. Let's put it that way. I installed a toilet. Don't ask me how, because I don't remember, but it worked. I installed it and it worked. And I don't know. I don't remember how. I don't know how. It worked. Shit. So yeah. But what I want to do is I want to sing, I want to act, I want to model, and I do want to dance. I want to learn how to dance. I dance a little bit, but I want to really learn how to dance, and I know it wouldn't be hard to teach me either. Because I pick up things very, very quickly. Show me how to do something a couple times, I can do it. Now, I ain't doing flips and all that shit in the air and shit. That ain't happening. But, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So it wouldn't take much to teach me how to dance, and yes. I used to do aerobics in high school. I loved it. I loved aerobics. I want to learn all kinds of dance. I want to learn everything. I do. I want to do it all. I want to learn it all. I want to. I want to do it all. I want to try it. I took the one lesson. I really enjoyed it, so I'm probably gonna. I am gonna go back at some point. You know, or if he and I ever got together, he could just teach me. Because I'm sure he could teach me very quickly. It wouldn't be hard. Um, and I'd be willing to work every day at it. Or like I said, when I set my mind to something, obviously, I've proven that I don't stop. I'm very determined. I'm stubborn, and I'm a very, very hard worker. So a very motivated person. Now let me say, I gotta say this. I for years I thought like the way my life was. I thought that I didn't like to exercise. I thought I just liked watching TV doing nothing. I thought that exercise was boring and just a lot of things. And they had me eat the fatty foods and all that. Well, he teaches younger. He teaches younger than me. He goes around teaching different schools and not schools, but different studios and that around the world. He actually, in college and that kind of thing, and he actually just got back to the U.S. From Australia not that long ago. Oh my God, it was big. The videos and everything that he posted, it's so beautiful. But I think that's where he probably filmed the video for, yeah. No, he didn't. No, never mind. But he did some pictures over there and everything. But yeah, he has been teaching dance since he was like 12, I think. So yeah, he teaches. He's very work oriented, and he's very how he is as a teacher is very odd. It's different than how he is when he's not teaching. That's all I'm gonna say. He's an amazing teacher. Okay, he's very strict, which is good. That's what they need. That's when you're learning to dance and everything. That's what you need. You need your teacher, your instructor, to be strict with you. Because otherwise, if he's not, and they just like, oh, okay, you know what I'm doing. Okay, you know what I mean. You're never gonna get anywhere. So I like the fact of how strict he is, and also the his friends in that teach too. Um, so it's good that they're strict and everything, and that's why the kids are so great at what they do. It's because these are amazing teachers. His sister too. His sister is actually a teacher at a school, and she also works at the studio too, teaching. So yeah, they're very strict, but it's stern, but it's because they want the kids to be the best they can be. You know, that's what you should strive for, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna strive to be the best I can be at whatever I decide to do, whatever field I decide to go in. And yeah, I'm good at criminal justice and the detective work at that. Clearly, we know that by now, but it's not my dream. That's not what I want to do, honestly. I'm very interested in it, yes, just like I'm interested in other things. That's why I've always studied it. It fascinated me. But the truth is, what I really have always loved and been passionate about is actually singing. And yeah, I remember one time in elementary school, I think it was probably second grade. We had a bathroom in the classroom. So I went in there to use the bathroom and I started singing. And when I came out of the bathroom, everybody was clapping. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I didn't know I was being that loud either. I didn't know that. Basically, I did not. That family tried to take my voice from me, so to speak. They would always complain when I would sing in that, so they said I wasn't that good. My ex, he, not the last one, but Steven, anytime I would go to sing, he would tell me to shut up and not sing because it sounded like two alley cats fighting in an alley. You know. Truth is, he can't carry a tune to save his fucking life. So, I'm choosing to move forward. Like I said, everything works out the way it does, but I'm not going to spend all my time focusing on trying to find out who I am and getting more evidence and figuring things out and everything else. For as much evidence as I've collected and as much as I've figured out, that's pretty fucking amazing. I basically solved my own kidnapping. And if it test comes back that I'm not Patrice, well, then I keep pushing forward and living my life. So, anywho. Whew. So what's everybody got planned for Tuesday? Or are you all, is everything closed down where you're at too? So, what do you do? If you told me before, I don't remember. Ah, I'm supposed to go to the doctor tomorrow. I don't think I'll be going. I'm calling the office if they're open. I'm gonna reschedule, obviously, but if they're not open, then I have nothing to worry about. You know, because I ain't leaving the house. Oh wow, you a waitress? Oh, hostess. Pretty cool. I've done that too. Actually, Linda and Ralph had this restaurant called Chopper's Grove. It was next to the dental and dentures office we cleaned with their when they had their janitorial office or janitorial business. And I never got paid. According to Social Security, I haven't worked enough in my life. I haven't earned enough credits. Truth is, I've worked the majority of my life, but it was always for free. Never got paid for working for them motherfuckers. Um, but when they had their restaurant, I was the hostess, the waitress, the cashier, I did everything. Linda cooked. I did everything. They didn't get paid shit. Sometimes I do actually, yeah. Because it gave me something to do. Not just gave me something to do. I have really good work ethic, and I would love to work again. You know, but what I really want to do is I want to, have a career in that. But at the same time, I do want to work. I want to do whatever it takes to have a career that I want. You know, if I worked, I would make a lot more money probably. You know, shit. I mean, $994 a month. I wonder how many people could survive on that. Because I do every month. But yeah, I would love to work. You know, I would love to work. If I could, I would. I just need to find the right job. Something that I'm going to enjoy doing. I refuse to do. I will never do fast food again. try. I mean, people talk shit about my nails. They think, I don't know why people think I spend so much on nails. I don't. You know? I will look, I will look like, because I used to work in retail too, so, I will get a whole outfit to go to like Wigs and Wishes, shoes, dress, purse, makeup, you know, everything I need, right? Well, I already have the makeup, you know, but like shoes, dress, purse, jewelry, right? $40, sometimes less. I've never spent. I have never spent $50 on things, on a whole outfit to go to a gala. And you've seen the pictures. I always have a way of making myself look amazing, and sometimes I end up looking much better than some who spend hundreds of dollars on one outfit. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta know where to go. You know my dresses? Like, the one 2023, I got that from Walmart for like $15. Um, and then the one I wore in 2024, I spent about 20 something, maybe $30 on that. So that year, you know, in 2024, I think I spent maybe a total $50 to $55 with the shoes and the dress and everything, because I got them from got them from got them from Shane, and then and then the dress I wore last year, I got the two dresses I wore last year from Gina or Shane. Yeah. I no. No. I went to. No, I paid for them. I just know how to shop. Yeah. Yeah. I can, like, secondhand stores or discount stores. You can find great stuff at discount stores, and a lot of stuff is always on sale. I have gotten. I have this one dress, the dress I wore when I saw Frankie in 2023. Oh no, yeah, essentially. But the dress I wore in 2023 in April of 2023, um, yeah, and I walked in the room, he's like, oh my god, you look so good for living in your car. I never looked that good when I lived in my car. I had gotten that dress from a half and half store in Joplin, Missouri for like, I think it was like $5. I've gotten clothes for $2, $5. I am so like I will get the most amazing outfits for very, very little. I used to work at a discount retail store. The boxers that Frankie said he loved and wore all the time that I got him for like $15 for the whole package. But I got a discount because I was a employee. But yeah, like, you'd be surprised. You go to those discount stores, you can find a lot of good shit. You would be shocked at the shit you can find at these discount stores. That's one reason I would love to go to go back west for, just to go shopping. Because I love the half of half store. And they do, I don't think, they're not online, I don't think. But yeah, I love those stores. You can always find great stuff in it. You know, always at really affordable prices. You just gotta know where to look. Like I said, I'm a frugal bitch. But I always look amazing, don't I? And then the dress I wore at the Cheer Choice Awards, actually, I got that from my daughter. But yeah. Oh, the shoes I wore last year I got from Wally World. They were shipped to me. Or did I get them from Amazon? I don't remember. I don't know why that too. But yeah, I'm gonna live my life the way I want. I'm going to dress the way I want. I'm going to do the things I want. I'm going to experience life like I never have before. Maybe I'll go next week and do the Statue of Liberty tour or something. Who knows? Maybe I'll do the 9/11 tour. I don't know. I want to go to I would love to go to an art museum and other museums. I would love to go just go see things that I haven't seen yet. This is a huge place. The city is huge. I have walked through the city for 5+ hours and not even this much of it gone through. So yeah, I'm thinking about it. Well, I'm gonna do it, but thinking about what day to do it because I got the weather and then I got my appointment. So, but yeah, and maybe when I get my school money, maybe I'll take a little short day or two vacay and go to the casino for a night or two. Or maybe I'll go to, where I've always wanted to go. There's a couple places. I've never gone to Niagara Falls. I've always wanted to go there. I want to go to Salem. Obviously, I want to go to Salem, Massachusetts. Have to go to Salem. There's a lot of places. I love nature. I love, and who knows, maybe I'll even maybe I will go back west and go to, like, South Dakota, I would love to go to South Dakota. I would actually love to go to, oh god, what the fuck is Sturgis. I would love to go to Sturgis sometime. I want to go to Sturgis so badly. And Sturgis is a motorcycle thing. It's like a whole week. And they have, the t-shirts, tank tops, everything. And, I would love to go camping again. I want to go to Mount Rushmore. I want to do all sorts of stuff. The only thing is I can't drive. But I could rent a cabin if I did. And, but one of my favorite, I remember them taking us camping, and we went to Flintstones campground. It was so cool. Yeah, they had the statues and characters, right? Took pictures of them, and my finger, and it just went crazy. I don't know why. That's my ring finger. That's the only finger that's itching. I don't even know what that means. Jesus Christ. Anyways, sorry. So, if you've never been to Flintstones campground in South Dakota, so they have a train that goes around that you can ride, and they got putt-putt golf, and they have the bedrock that you can walk through. You can see, it's really awesome. It is so awesome. Yes, it's in South Dakota. In let me look it up. Yeah, it is so awesome. Kids love it. And I think they might have a pool too. And they have a guest shop where you can get all this stuff. It's so amazing. Crazy Horse. I want to go back. I want to go and just be a kid, for a little while. Alright, let's see. Yeah, fuck Disneyland and shit like that. Go to Flintstones Campground. You have so much fun. You have a lot more fun and save a lot of money. Flintstones Campground in South Dakota. Okay, Flintstones Bedrock City. That's the name of it. Oh, man, never mind, you can't go. That makes me mad. It closed in 2015. Damn it. I can't believe it's closed. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. Like, they do have photos, so I'll show you all the photos. Oh. So, like, I didn't know. Damn it, you wouldn't want to go during Christmas shit. There's other places. Trust me. So, let me flip the bitch here. So, like, there's, like, Dino the statue, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe it's... He was all pretty and bright. In dark purple. Darker purple. But yeah. See? Yeah, I don't know what all this is. This ain't fun, so... see? They had a train, and it was really cool. What, bitch? But they have the KOA campgrounds there too, and I think at the KOA campground, they do have cabins, and they also have a swimming pool, and like they have a rec center or a game room or something that kids can go do, and I think they have a park that kids with swings and things like that. Bonfire, roast marshmallows, the whole works. Man, I can't believe it closed. It says 2015. The park's owner, Linda Speckles, was planning to retire and sell the park for $2 million. The park was closed on January 20, 2019, but reopened in mid-June and remained open through the end of summer in 2019. Oh, that's in Arizona. What the fuck? Wait, so what? Hold on. Something right. Yeah, I can't believe it closed. Oh, man. Oh, here's some. Let me show you. You'll see how cool this place was. Like, look. This was so cool. See, there's a little pup thing, I think. But yeah. They had the cardboard cutout things, but they were wood or something like that. And you could put your head through the thing where the head was. So yeah, that was cool. Wasn't always bad. There were, fun times at times. But yeah. Man, if I could, I would buy it and open it back up. Yeah, and the people dressed in the costumes, but yeah, if I could, I would. If I had the money, I would buy it and open it. I would. If I had the money, I would buy it. I would fix it up, and I would open it back up because I think. But yeah, back then, I don't think it was like that in the 90s when we went, but you never know. No, it was like for like it's not a person. It would be like that'd be like for the campground, the campsite would be that much for the whole campsite that you're at, not just for one person. Not for one person, but for the whole campsite that it would be renting the campsite. So it's not per person. I would love if I could, if I had the money, I would seriously buy the Flintstone Bedrock Campground. The Flintstones Campground, I would buy it and I would fix it up and I would reopen it. And I think, you know, I think if it was reopened and families found out it was reopened, they would actually go there. Because it's so much fun. It was so much fun. Nowadays, with the technology, yeah, technology is nice, but like kids don't experience real things anymore. Like playing and camping and fishing. Yes, I like to fish too. Well, I did. Stephen kind of ruined it for me. But I'm good at cleaning trout. I, I'm a natural at cleaning trout fish. Because we would go to the Cassville, Roaring River, and I would try, I'd go fishing. I did it for fun and everything, but he would get mad and yell at me. You're fishing the wrong way, and he would yell at me in front of everybody about anything. But yeah, thank God I got rid of him. Shit. It was fun. But, I like Mother Nature. I'd like to go on, if I could, I would love to go camping. I would love to go on hikes through the woods and things like that. You know, fire, where there's waterfalls and things like that. All that kind of shit. The city really isn't for me. Twice. My first ex-husband, yeah, he left me for a much older woman. And then my second ex-husband was gay. I didn't know. My second ex-husband, our divorce was finalized 1 year and 5 days after we got married. My first time I got married, I was wearing my pajamas. The second time I got married, I was wearing pants and a nice shirt. And then we went to McDonald's afterwards. Went to the courthouse, signed the papers, went to McDonald's, and then went back to the house. And then that night, he went to his room, I went to my room. Yeah. My ex-husband and I don't think we shared a bed a couple times, but never did anything. And Linda tried getting me to stay with him. I did not know it was going to be like that. I thought it was just before we got married. We were going to be in separate rooms because we lived at his mom's house. So we were in different rooms, and I was fine with that. I thought it was, respectful and everything else. I didn't know. You gotta realize all my relationships have been set up prior, without my knowledge. It wasn't my idea, trust me. Like, I've never been. Sounds so pathetic now. I've never even been on a date. I have literally never been taken out on a date. Unless you consider like a bar. And then having the night ruined. But other than that, I've never been on a date. I go out when the weather's nice and I take myself out sometimes. But usually I just order in. I'm thinking about taking myself to a nice dinner. Maybe. I might. Maybe I'll go have a nice steak or something somewhere. Go to the city and find a nice restaurant to eat at. You know? Maybe buy myself some flowers. I've never gotten flowers either. I know. Pathetic. I know how to be romantic because I've been romantic. I've done candlelight dinners and things like that. For the who I was with. But nobody ever did anything for me. Except my ex-husband would get, like, my first ex-husband. He would get, like, go to the Dollar Tree. Yeah. Which, it's the thought that counts. But here's the thing. Even the wedding ring he gave me was like $1. It was a 99-cent ring. And I had to cut it off my finger. Because it was too tight. Yeah. It was like the 99-cent store, and I didn't know. So no, I've never experienced romance, never been on a date. Well, one of our anniversaries, my ex-husband took me to Olive Garden. That was the first and last time I will ever go to Olive Garden. I didn't like the food. It was disgusting. So that's why I thought I didn't like Italian food. And I know any Italian, if they're watching it, if any Italian's watching, I can imagine what they're thinking right now. I can imagine them cussing at the screen. Oh my God, you thought that was real Italian? I can already hear it. I can hear it now, okay? You know, he was Italian. What the fuck? He was a POS too. You know what I would love to do though? What I really want to do? One thing I have always wanted to do is go see the Phantom of the Opera. I want to see the Phantom of the Opera, and I want to see Cats, and I want to go to a murder mystery dinner theater. I want to do all kinds of stuff. I'm more like, truth is, I like that kind of thing. I like plays, and I like, musicals, and I like all that kind of shit. I want to go to museums and art galas, and I want to experience all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to do it alone. Well, but I don't want to do it alone. I want to experience it with someone, you know? I want to do it with Frankie, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that would happen, but yeah. I want to go, I don't know how he would feel about going to the Phantom of the Opera, but I would love for him if he would. Maybe go to the Statue of Liberty and that kind of thing with me. Maybe a museum and art gallery, you know? I'm looking towards the future. I'm not digging for any more information. I'm not doing the detective work anymore. I've done enough and I gathered enough evidence. I got plenty of evidence. But if they don't, if they say, well, there's nothing we can do, well then okay. But, yeah, we'll focus on light. So, I can't wait for the weather to get nice. Because one thing I really want is I want to go to the spot in Tottenville and get a protein shake and some donuts. Oh, they're so good. They're so good and they're healthy. All natural. Yeah, baby. So yeah. Go and get a protein shake and some protein donuts. I love them things. Maybe I'll go later this week. Take the bus over there. It's like a 2-hour fucking bus ride just to get over there. I think it's about 2 hours or so. But yeah, it takes a minute to get over there. When I went to the studio to take the stuff down, it would take me 4 hours. It was a 4-hour round trip bus ride. 4-hour round trip to get there and back. I just can't deal with some people that are on the bus at times, okay? I'm like, but I remember one time I could have probably interrupted the class, but I was afraid because I walked in the door, and I could hear him. He was in there teaching, he was in the room teaching, and I was going back and forth in my head. You do it? No, do it, because I was afraid he was going to get upset and mad that I interrupted his class. I did. So I set the bag down and I went to the other room because there were 2 women there. And I said, "Excuse me." They looked at me like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you let Frankie know there's some food out here for him?" And they looked at each other and looked at me and they're like, "Yeah." So I guess they were probably wondering why I didn't just give it to him myself. It's because I got nervous. So I didn't want to get mad that I interrupted his class. Or that I came up there with stuff for him. I don't think he would, but I don't think he would. But at the same time, he's very work oriented and has really good work ethic. And he's focusing on work, and honestly, I just wanted him to know that I was thinking about him and that kind of thing. And that's why I always do the things I do for him. It's because I love him and I want him to know that he's important and he's appreciated and he means the world to me. That's what you do for people you love. See, I've always been this type of person. but I've never experienced anything in return, with anybody. So I don't know what it's like to have romance, and I don't know what it's like to, what I mean? Live. So yeah, I don't know what all that's like. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Um, I decided I'm focusing on the future and what I want to do in life. I am gonna go to the DNA, but I'm gonna do it and then probably spend a week over there. Tell them where they can find me, and when I'm leaving, and come home, and they can tell me when the DNA test comes back, results come back, and I go on living my life. And if it comes back as a match, we'll go, decide then. But if not, then I've decided I'm not looking anymore. If my DNA doesn't match for Tanya's, or not Tanya, Catrice, then I'm not, because I'm not gonna, if whoever my real family is didn't give a fuck enough about me to look for me, then why the fuck do I care enough to look? To try and find out who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? So, the only reason I'm going to go through with this is because Tanya's family. Fuck, why do I keep saying Tanya? Catrice. Catrice's family's been looking for 44 years. Why do I keep saying Tanya? Why the fuck do I keep saying Tanya? That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. I have no idea. Anyways, but yeah, the only reason I'm gonna do this test is because I've come this far. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm trying not to, but I've come this far. So, and I know how much they want to find her. So, I'm gonna go through with the test because if it happens that I am, they deserve to know, right? And then if it is a match, then they can decide whether they want to be a part of my life or not. And, but I'm not gonna beg anyone to be a part of my life. And if any, I will. Here's the things. I will not tolerate disrespect. If people that want to be in my life, they have to show me they want to be in my life now. Period. I'm not gonna just let anybody into my life or get close to me anymore. I'm not. It's not a good idea as it is, because especially if I want a career in that, right? So I gotta be careful. I want the right people around me, because the people you surround yourself with, the type of people you surround yourself with, is the type of life and the type of life that you'll have. Surround yourself with success. You surround yourself with successful people, and you will be successful. Surround yourself with people that, you know what I mean, that don't have anything going for them. That's how your life's gonna be. I would rather be around successful people, like-minded people, than this shit, you know what I mean? No, I have to go to another country. But Dad, what do you, can I help you? Can I help you? Here's the misconception that when a person that doesn't know who they are, has reason to believe they're one person, and so they do a DNA test, right? And it comes up not a match, it means they're not that person. It does not mean they're not still a missing person and don't know who they are. That's why they move forward, to try and find out who they are. I thought That was common sense. Just because it was a teen Michelle Williams does not mean I may or may not be Catrice Lee. If I'm not, okay, then there's still somebody out there that I am. You know, there's still a child out there that's missing that I actually am. I just don't know who or where. You know, because here's the thing, Deb. A person that's born biologically male cannot get pregnant. Someone that does not have their monthly cannot get pregnant. Okay, Deb. Let me tell you something. The person I grew up with knowing as my biological mother was either born a male or intersex and never had her monthly. Deb. Which means she never, ever gave birth because she could never get pregnant. Deb. So I'm not sure what you think you're trying to do, but it's honestly very pathetic. Okay? And by the way, again, when you don't know the concept of when DNA doesn't match one person, that you don't understand that if it's not one person, doesn't match one person, that means it's going to match someone else that you would be. What a concept, huh? You know. I mean, dude, it's almost as if people didn't get past kindergarten. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Talking about faking DNA tests, and that's... Here's what I'm going to say. People like them there should really not speak. Because you can't fix stupid. There's not a pill you can take. There's not a class you can go to. Stupid is forever. Then. I know. I think it's funny. Don't you? You can't round me, bitch. Come on. Oh, did you? They call me Tighter. They call him Tater Tot. Hello. Oh my god. I bet. He seems really cool. He does. I think out of all of them, he would be the one I would hang out with. Out of all of them. I just get that vibe that I wouldn't really want to hang. I mean, they're all funny. But it's just, I get the vibe that I wouldn't want to hang out with like Larry the Cable Guy or Jeff Foxworthy or whatever. I don't know why. I get that vibe from them. But Ron White seems funny as fuck, and he's the funniest out of all, in my opinion. And he seems really laid back, and he'd be cool to hang out with. You know what I mean? Fun to party, you know. Bunch of people get together, have a party and shit. Yeah, that'd be fun. You know. You can't fix stupid. I'll play mini golf. I've never played golf. You know what? Maybe I'll try playing golf sometime. You know, I always thought it was boring, but maybe Maybe it's not. You know what? I like mini golf, so why wouldn't I like the other golf? I don't, I want to know until I try it. Try anything once. There's so much to do in life, and so many different activities and things, so many different things to see. And you can't put limits on yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I've met, obviously, we all know I've met Frankie. I've met Paula. She's amazing. Obviously, uh, Martino and a few others. I actually met Drake Hokuston back in the 90s. I remember he came to Builder Square for a meet and greet. Yep. Yes, it is. Not really. Not really. Probably. I just haven't really paid attention. There's so many people here. Ooh, that actually sounds really good. We'll tell your daughter happy birthday. Oh, it's a motherfucking car. Only it's down now, man. Yeah, you gotta make the birthday cake. So when the weather gets better, I'm gonna go join the gym, and I'm gonna try and go every day. Uh, I'm gonna join the one that has a pool, because that way I can do water aerobics, which would be good on my body. Because I have the, you know, ooh, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. But yeah, you know, the perfect gym would be for me one that had a pool with water aerobics, one that had one with regular aerobics. You know, I want to find where I could do an aerobics class. You know, I don't want to do Zumba. I want to do aerobics. They're two different things. But all I find is Zumba classes. I don't do that shit. I want to do aerobics. I can't find a gym that has all of it. Here's what I want. I want a gym that has the full body workout, or the full body enhancement machine, pool, aerobics class, a tanning, the hydro massage chairs, the regular massage chairs. I want all of it combined. I don't know why I can't find a gym that has all of it that I can afford. You know. Hell, I can go to Gym U in the city because if I join, I have 2 months free. But I'm not paying hundreds of dollars for a fucking gym membership. I'm a frugal bitch. Thank you. I can't afford hundreds of dollars for a gym membership. Jesus fucking Christ. See, the thing is, LA Fitness has the swimming pool. Crunch Fitness has the aerobics class. And then Planet Fitness has the hydro total body machine, the hydro machine, or the total body enhancement machine, the hydro machine. massage, the regular massage. Why can't it all be one gym? Just There's also another one called Retro Fitness. I was thinking about joining that one, but the smell, I can't deal with the smell. It has a weird smell in it, and it would be like going in and watching Hulk Hogan from the 80s. That's the colors they have in there, is red and yellow. I hate that shit. I can't deal with Hulk Hogan colors. So, I want to find a gym that, because otherwise I'm going to have to join 2 or 3 different gyms just to get everything I want. It sucks. I shouldn't have to join 2 or 3 gyms to get what I want. And so I thought about maybe, finding a pool. An indoor pool. I can't find one that is where you can afford it. There's the YMCA, but that costs hundreds of dollars, like $150 a month or some shit. So it's like, what do I do? I need the pool because of my osteoporosis and that, but I want to do aerobics, like I said. I want the whole shebang. I think you got the thing where the other thing is that drives me crazy is even if it's like played at, like, say it's like two different LA Fitnesses, right? They will have different things. Just like Planet Fitnesses each have different things, just like Crunch Fitness, each of them have a different thing. One Crunch Fitness one Crunch Fitness teaches aerobics, the other one doesn't. But LA Fitness has water aerobics. Maybe that'd be easier for me to do anyway, because, So, it'd probably be better if I just did the water aerobics instead of regular aerobics. Unless I learn how to dance, and then that's a whole different situation, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm playing it by ear at this point. I got some time to think about what gym I want. What I'm going to do, though, I think, is I'm going to, because I have a couple of free passes to a couple of gyms, so I'm going to go and check them out and see how it is and everything, and because I want to pick the right gym. I don't want to just look online what they have. I want to go there and see what it's like and see the facility and see what kind of different things they have and how I feel working out there and things like that. You know what I mean? So when I was living in my car in West Palm Beach, I actually had 2 different gym memberships. I went to 2 different gyms every day. I would go to Planet Fitness like twice a day and then go to Crunch Fitness once a day. Sometimes I went 3 times at one and then the next day I'd go to the other one. But yeah, I was going to the gym all the time. I basically lived in the gym, basically, And I'll never forget when I got the call about that photo shoot or whatnot that I did in Florida. My very first one. I was actually at the I was at the gym. And I had the text message I saw, and I was going to call the guy back when I was done, and 15 minutes later he's calling me, wanting me to, they were very, very interested. And so I did it. I was so nervous. I almost didn't do it. And I thought I was going to throw up. That's how my nerves were that morning. So I stayed in a motel that night, the night before, and I went and I'm driving and I was so close to not going and just say fuck this shit. I can't do this. That was going through my head. So about 5 minutes before I get to the place, because I wasn't sure if I was even going to go in or whatnot, and I was listening to music on my phone, and 5 minutes before I get to the place, Frankie's song "Leave It on the Floor" came on, and that's what got me to actually go do it. Don't worry about what people think; just to go for it. And for some reason, it's almost like I can hear his voice sometimes. It's weird, but in a good way, like encouraging me and shit like that. It's fucking weird. I guess I don't know. I know it probably sounds crazy. But I can't explain it. But I'll tell you what, things I've done in my life, like the modeling and that, and starting and singing on here, and I'm doing trying to do the acting thing, and that, and the experiences that I've come out of my shell to do. I wouldn't have. I never would have done any of it if it hadn't been for him. Because they had me so convinced that of the shit. So, like, because I was big. I'm a bigger girl. Not as big as I used to be. When I did that photo shoot, I was the same weight but bigger. I never lost weight, I just lost stitches. That's the thing what people, doctors don't seem to understand. You can weigh a certain amount, and they will say that you're morbidly obese. Like, they say I'm morbidly obese because I weigh 235 pounds or whatever. I wear a size 12, 14. I'm not morbidly obese. Muscle weighs more than fat. Uh, I'm a lot stronger than I look. But yeah, they said I'm morbidly obese because I'm 235 pounds. It's like, what the fuck? Like, do I look morbidly obese to you bitches? Yeah, like you. See, here's the thing. I used to weigh 276 pounds. The things that I was eating, that I, I'm guessing there's medications that you can end up on that will make you not only gain weight, but um, make you also eat, make you have an appetite or something. Because I ate all the time. For dinner, if we got McDonald's, and I'm so embarrassed to say this. I'm so embarrassed to say this. Um, I would get 2 triple cheeseburgers, a large fry, and a caramel frappuccino, and I'd eat it all. Yeah, I don't like that now. Clearly. Yeah, that is interesting too. When I lived with them, I ate all the time, and I was always hungry. Now that I'm not around them, and knowing the fact that she put something in my food all the time. Yeah, where, like Playboy outfits and that I have, the jumper suit, whatever, suits, whatever. I wear from a medium to large to extra. It just depends, you know. But at the same time, I eat and then I look like I'm 5 months pregnant. That's the problem. Every time I eat, I end up getting bloated and look like I'm 5 months fucking pregnant. It's crazy. But I guess that comes with having diverticulitis, which I thought was gastroparesis for years. So I go to a new doctor this week. Well, maybe not. It's supposed to be tomorrow, so it may be rescheduled. Drink peppermint tea. Well, I do have tea. It's not peppermint, but I have tea for stomach. When your stomach is bothering you, I have tea for that. It was canceled. Yeah. It was crazy. Um, so what had happened was a week before surgery, I have diverticulitis. I can't take cleanses or anything like that because it can do bad things. um, but about a week, the Wednesday before surgery, um, we had the video visit, and she said that they were going to prescribe gabapentin, ibuprofen, and Tylenol. I'm like, no, what? Now, at that point, nobody had explained to me that it's not a major surgery, right? I was like, you need to have the doctor call me. Da, da, da. So the doctor calls me and explains this. I'm like, I've had the surgery before, and I'm like, no, you haven't. And then he explained, it's not that major. Go right through, right here, take it out, because it's like in a little pocket. It would be like sitting in a little pocket, right underneath the skin. So, do it. They're not cutting into muscle or anything, but he had, he said he had no problem for a couple days. It's like, okay, cool. Mind him the day of surgery. Now, here's where it gets weird. I told him the reason why I react sometimes the way I do when it comes to doctors and hospitals and that, because I get in fight or flight mode. And it's because of something that happened in the past. My memories that I've talked about are in those fucking files, yeah. So I explained this to him. And that's when it started getting weird. He's like, oh my bloody hell. And then he kind of dropped it and changed the subject. And then he's like, oh, by the way, 24 hours, he says, oh, by the way, I need you to do a liquid diet for 24 hours before surgery. I beg your friend's pardon. What? I was like, why? Oh, well, the anesthesiologist will cancel the surgery if you have any solid foods. I've had many surgeries before. This is weird. But I'm like, okay, can I have ice cream? He's like, yeah, just nothing solid. Wanted me to have a liquid diet, but I could have ice cream. So, right. Okay. So 2 days before surgery, I get a phone call from the nurse practitioner who we don't communicate well, right? She tells me, we need to reschedule your surgery for Monday, and it has to be at the main hospital. I'm sorry, what? It has to be at the main hospital. I'm like, are you putting me all the way under? Oh, no, you'll be in twilight, the twilight moon or whatever, and, okay, why does it need to be at the main hospital? That's when she says, oh, the anesthesiologist is worried they won't be able to control your pain after surgery. They're just doing the incision where it was before, going under the skin, taking it out, and so. I'm like, you need to have the doctor call me because this makes absolutely no sense. Mind you, when she and I were arguing the week prior, I said, because I asked, give me a week's worth of pain medicine because I thought it was going to be as painful as it had been before. And then we were arguing. I said, fine. She's like, you don't need it. It's not that major. I was like, fine. Do it at the hospital and then admit me till after I heal because I'm taking care of myself. No, it's not that major surgery. You can do, it can be done at the day surgery place. Right. But now she's calling me 2 days ahead of time saying that it needs to be rescheduled for Monday. And they were helping on Monday. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now, doctor says the same thing. I called pre-op. I told them what I was told. And she says, well, what's your information? I'll look it up. She looked at my information. She's like, she told you that? And so-and-so told you that? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I'll have somebody call you back. Okay. So I hang up and I call the supervisor of the doctor's office who's going to be doing the surgery, right? I talk to her. I tell her what they say, what I was told and everything. She then tells me that the reason it has to be changed is because the day surgery center is not equipped to handle my type of surgery. Let that sink in for a minute. The day surgery center is not equipped to handle my type of surgery. Do you want me to stop at the Dollar Tree and pick up supplies for you? Like that's going through my thought, my brain at the time. Day surgery again, not even being completely sedated. Right through this, just cutting into the skin, taking it out. So that's it. So how would they not be equipped to do my type of surgery? Right? So by then, I was pretty sure that they were going to try and me because none of it makes sense. Well, because think about it. If you're going to a patient during surgery, right? What happens when someone loses their life or whatnot, right? What happens when someone passes? If they've only had liquid for 24 hours before surgery and nothing after midnight. That's a lot less of a mess to clean up, isn't it? Because we all know what happens when you pass away, and yeah. So, obviously, a lot less mess to clean up, and how, what would be easier to get a body to a morgue from the hospital or from across the street at the day surgery place? That's what's gone through my mind, right? So I go to sleep. I wake up the next day. And I thought maybe I was overreacting, with everything going on or whatever. I could be overthinking. I wasn't. So I'm calm. I call and I ask to talk to the supervisor, and I'm talking to her very calmly. And I tell her, I explain what happened, and I explained why, and I told her about my memory, one of the memories of why. The whole fight or flight thing, I went into detail. And I was crying when I was telling her. Obviously, it's a horrible memory. But her response was, "Sorry for what you've been through, but you're no longer a patient." Blah 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 blah, and hung up on me. A little while later, I get this letter in the app addressed to me saying they were apologizing, but they can no longer have me as a patient. They very rarely do this. And it was because of my outburst and violent behavior. Oh yeah, I left out the part where I mentioned to her too that I was in the files. So, after I got the letter, clearly it's defamation, because I'm not a violent person. Nor have I ever. And I was in my bed when I was in my bed on the phone. It also stated that he would treat me for emergency purposes only over the next 30 days, right? I called because I was going to request my records. I called. What I called. It said, your number cannot go, your call can't go through. Your call can't go through. I can't call that doctor's office. I can't call that hospital or anything from my actual phone number. And so I called from a different number and it went through. My number is blocked from calling. My actual phone number is blocked from calling that hospital, Welly Cornell, New York Presbyterian Hospital, any doctor's office associated with said hospital, any office associated with that hospital. I cannot call from my actual number. Like, just for shits and grins, I'm gonna try it. Alright, we're gonna do this right now. Because I know this sounds completely crazy, right? So let's look up the number. New York Presbyterian Hospital. Let's see if my number is still blocked. This one it? Yep. Alright, let's see.
Sorry, but your call cannot be completed.
Again, I'm gonna flip the camera so y'all can see. This is not a joke. Hold on.
Sorry, but your call cannot be completed.
My phone number The hospital and every doctor's office, every office connected to said hospital has my phone number blocked. Yeah, you can't tell me. And I even got a hold of patient administration for patients that are supposed to help patients and that. Oh, sorry, there's nothing we could do. Sorry, there's nothing we could do. And you're telling me that, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. They were going to try. You remember, they've been trying to take me out for a very long time. One way to succeed is if I'm having surgery, because, it's very easy to take someone's organs out during that time, isn't it? That would be one way to take them out. So, yeah. It's fucking nuts. What the fuck? So, yeah. That's what it's been. Yes, they were really going to try and take me out. So for anyone that still doubts it, please explain. When because everything was fine until I said what I said, and let them know, and that's when everything fucking changed. So, anybody have any sort of explanation? Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, but I do think I'm gonna end this because I need to eat. So I still haven't eaten, and I'm going to bed. So, I hope you all have a great night. I'm fucking tired. I hope you all have a great night, and until next time, I will see y'all later. Have a good night, guys.